Alright, welcome back to the. What was that?
I was trying my chi. I was getting my chi, man.
Alright, well, he's getting his chi.
I was getting the chi.
This is a Silk exclusive.
Welcome, we back. Alright, one more time. This is episode 4 of Words Music Dance. Alright, you already know who it is. Paulie the Bull, my man Jared,
the immortal Iron Fist.
the immortal Iron Fist. For today, that's what he gonna be. That's what it is.
From Brooklyn.
We gonna rock with that. That's what he is. That's what he gonna do. That's what he gonna be. We just having some fun here. As you can see, it's just us two this time around. So we gonna just rock out with the two of us. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Hey,
the two of us. You and I. Pause. Say that. But we're gonna start a little somberness, I guess. The passing of mumble rapper, SoundCloud rapper Lil Peep, and talk about a little bit of drug usage now in hip hop and rap culture and things. What's your take on lean, Molly, Percocets, ecstasy, so on and so forth down the line, and the prevalence now in the music and in the lifestyles?
Well, I mean, see, unlike some rappers today, you gotta go into the backstories of the music. Mm-hmm. Like we came from the era where we were talking about the selling of hard narcotics. Mm-hmm. And the only kind of recreational drugs of choice that was spoke of was marijuana. Mm-hmm. Rick James, heavy on Mary Jane.
You in here for some marijuana?
You go from that, to even the 90s, everybody's talking about smoking Chiba, weed, all Mary Jane type terms, but somewhere along the lines it started turning into, taking eggs or doing heroin, or, now you got the Mollies. Well, a few years ago it was the Mollies, and now it's kind of graduated, or I guess dumbed itself down to just pills. Mm-hmm. But I mean, let's think about it. It's not like pill usage was just a new phenomena. Right. Eminem was talking about his pill use way before these cats, but he was the only one. He was the anomaly. Mm-hmm. Everybody was still talking about weed, weed. And then you got the southern rappers, like the Pimp C's and Lil Flips. Mm-hmm. I was talking about lean or whatever.
Scissor.
Scissor, and that brought us with the Dipset and all that stuff, Purple Drink. Mm-hmm. But Molly, the Kanye usage of it, Rick Ross usage. We got him his endorsement deal cut, which he only got his thing cut is because it wasn't because he was talking about using it. It's because he was talking about drugging it. Yeah. So, but the abundance of it now is everybody wants to get high for pills. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to, have all these little party drugs.
Do you feel like it's recreational, a coping mechanism, or like what do you think is the cause of the rise of it?
I think the freedom of, I think artists feel more free now in saying whatever they want, and they don't really care who.
So you think that gives them the freedom, or they have the freedom to say it?
I think the freedom to say it, and they have nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Like a lot of us, I'll say the older heads. Mm-hmm. We feel more reserved in hearing that, or even talking about that.
Right.
But we know it goes on, but to even just bring it up, saying like, oh, that's what I do. That's my drug of choice and so forth. It's like, dog, nah, man, that's what you trying to turn into some old, to some old. Like, it's one thing. There's studies saying that weed isn't all that bad for you,
right?
But you see the effects of heroin, opium, all the other stuff, and pills. Like, you see, it turns you into mush.
Yeah.
So
do you think like because something that my sister actually brought up to me the other day was like
shout out, sis.
Yeah. Do you feel like cough syrup, cough medicine is the real gateway drug? Because a lot of people in like the black communities and things like that give their children cough medicine just to go to sleep, or even not when they're always sick or whatever, or even if it's a low cough or something slight, cough medicine is given to them. So it's an early, not an addiction at the time, but it's something that you're presented with at an early age, so it doesn't feel as bad or that it can be as dangerous. But truth be told, anything in abundance can
become addictive. I mean, anything can be addictive. I mean, just like they put Coke in Coca-Cola before, made it people addicted to that.
Right.
Opium is used as a healing agent as well as a drug to get recreationally high.
Right.
Everything has its positive and negatives, I guess. But it's not like they're talking about. It's not like they're talking about using it, just to heal themselves.
Right.
Unless they're trying to heal themselves some kind of hurt
in
their life, or just to get away from all the. See, here's my thing: is like, if you're a celebrity, you know what you're putting yourself into. So you can't just cop out saying I just do drugs just to get away from the feeling. You put yourself in that position. You wanted to start it.
Right. True.
Like rock and rollers, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
It was part of the It was part of the Trinity.
That was the holy Trinity of rock. Before white people took it over,
right?
Because it was like a Chuck Berry thing,
right?
It changed.
Well, so interesting. Is that kind of what's happening now to the rap music? Not that
everybody wants to be a rock star.
Right.
Everybody's a rap star.
Right. Everybody don't want to claim that they're a rapper. They want to claim they're a rock star. Right. So is that part of the transition? More towards the drugs usage more so than the
Probably is. It probably goes hand in hand together. Just the whole popping pills phenomena. I don't know what's going to come next from that. Guess heroin, but you don't know what's going to come next. But when you were saying about the cough medicine, cough medicine was used for there's two things that come from other than just to get better from a normal cold or flu, cough medicine was using scissor or purple drink, wherever you want to slang.
Right, depending on region.
Depending on what region you want to use it in, or the dialect.
Right.
Scissor. But that and cough medicine, like Sudafed, is also used in making crystal meth.
Right.
So, it is kind of a gateway drug because it leads into other drugs. I guess depending on people's, everybody has a way they want to distort something or transition something into something else. It's like you making something out of nothing.
Right.
So, I mean, if it's just like any kind of hustler, you give me a rock, I can turn that into diamonds. So it's the kind of thing that I'm not going to say the youth wants to do, because honestly there's a lot of old heads doing the same thing as the youth.
You said, like you said, it's not spoken of as much.
It's not spoken of as much, and I mean, like, it was kind of taboo then, because I'm pretty sure rappers weren't just doing weren't just doing weed at that time. I'm sure they were doing a whole lot of things. Eminem was outspoken about his pill usage at times, still is to this day. But it was still taboo. Now it's a whole new ball field, and these cats, they on some real take pills, and it's always been kind of like we looked up to things, so we we see the rappers smoking weed, and we're like, oh, I want to smoke weed, and why not? So now you got these, rappers talking about, I'm doing pills, I'm doing this. Now you got a whole bunch of people who want to be just like you, doing the same thing, and then you turn them into a whole bunch of mushheads. Doing shrooms and whatever, like that means shrooms have been a psychedelic thing forever.
Yeah,
since the hippies and
something we spoke of earlier was talking about how the rappers. We started the conversation last week, but we were talking. You and I were talking about it. The rappers today don't look up to anybody.
Right
now, they kind of look to their peers for inspiration, quote unquote, and also like you said too. The topics that they talk about, drugs, whatever. An interesting thing with Little Peep, his brother actually commented on, I think, Instagram or somewhere on social media, saying that he really wasn't into that lifestyle, as depressed, as a user as much as he is. So some people are refuting his claims. I don't know him, per se, to really go into depth about that. But do you feel some artists are pretending to be that type to fit in with what the current trend is, the more moody, introverted artists that are depressing, rock star? Do you feel that they really are of that ilk, or are they just pretending to be a way because that's what's popular now?
There's a lot of perpetrators in music, period.
Yes, true. Yeah.
And rap, hip hop, I don't know what you want to call it nowadays. Hip hop,
right?
It's
well, they want to be considered rock stars. So
that's what I'm saying. They want to be rock stars, and you want to live the rock star life. You're gonna you're gonna have some rock star consequences. There's a lot of perpetrators in the world, man. And saying what Peep's brother said. I wouldn't be surprised there's a lot of artists out there that says one thing, but they really don't. They probably go to Bible study right after that.
Right.
They probably, like they doing whatever just to make a dollar. So, and you saying about the peers, if I'm blind and you're blind, who's leading who?
We just walking.
So we just walking.
With lemmings walking off the cliff.
We don't have somebody with more guidance.
Right.
And even if we're the same age and we're both blind, you might be more wiser than me, but these kids don't want to listen.
Right.
Like, you have artists out there who don't speak of the same stuff, and they don't get that, they don't get that attention.
Right.
A handful do, but everybody wants. There's no variety and stuff. Like, Hov said it in 444. In Moonlight. You wearing the same fucking clothes. I got a different watch. I got the same watch. Like these cats just want to be the same. So if I'm talking about drug use and depression, I'm hurting. Let me take some things to get my mind off things. You gonna talk about the same things. He's gonna talk about the same things. You gonna talk about the same things. Who's talking anything different? Right. We all sound the same. Right. There's nobody saying, nah, man, don't do that. Let's see how I can better cope with my life, or let me tell you some other stories, about how to cope with life. Nobody's trying to the masses, nobody's trying to break from another. Right. They just trying to sound the same as their peers, and I guess in their way, it's kind of like how the NBA is. Where except for the few like a Kyrie Irving who doesn't want to play in somebody's shadow and be with the peers like that, I still respect you, but I also want to be my own individual, and that's what a few people want to be. Right. Some people want to be the Kyrie Irvings, others want to be the LeBron James or the Steph Currys, and well, I gotta say Steph, but Kevin Durant. Right. They want to be with the peers, so they want to run with the same kind of format. Right. That's the peer nation of it is now. So a lot of guys, you talk about the same things, and you probably not living. I remember the Dipset song or Cam song. You live in a lie. Let me just live my life. Yeah. So these guys probably just saying a lot of things just to sell records, but they ain't living that same life. They're not about that life.
Right.
You know, you just saying this to make some dollars, and your life might be financially better than mine, but your life may not be better than mine either.
So speaking of a financially better life and guidance, what do we think about LiAngelo Ball and his peers, his teammates of UCLA basketball, having a trip overseas and getting arrested for shoplifting in was Louis Vuitton store? When his little brother has a Lamborghini for his birthday, his older brother plays in the NBA
as a Laker.
They have their own shoe brand, and he's the middle child of it.
Yeah.
But you know, what's the mindset of him? You know, in this incident, what do you think about that? Because talking about just the following and the culture and
I
things
think
like that.
I won't be like LeVar and be like, it ain't no big deal. Ain't never happened. The Chinese made that up. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. But it might be his cry for attention. I think it's a cry for attention. And I don't think he may have been a ringleader to the whole thing. Like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I think our parents would say about not following the crowd because you don't know who's good for you.
Right.
And I think that was his thing. These kids, yeah, they won't go to UCLA, but don't mean their daddy,
Right.
LeVar, is the biggest kind of social media thing right now.
Right.
Plus your brother's in the NBA.
Right.
You know, your dad's been outspoken about all three of them on the play in the NBA and so forth. So he's speaking that into existence. But it's to me it smells of your friends see what you want to do and they want to set your ass up.
Right.
And they're going to see you try to fail. Like, not everybody's your friend. And if LiAngelo, you watching, brother, they ain't your friends. I'm telling you that.
I mean,
right now.
I hope he learned a lesson from it.
It ain't just kids being kids.
Right.
You know,
Because he's in a good situation. He's in a great situation. Like I said, his family already had money. Chino Hills is a pretty good area in California, so they already had a couple dollars. I don't know their pockets. The older brothers in the NBA, they have their own shoe brand, clothing brand. They sell shirts and stuff. I don't know if anybody got the sneakers yet, but
$900.
they received money, to do their, to build them, make them, produce them, and so forth. So him being the middle child, he does not have a shoe announced yet.
Right.
Older brother and younger brother has their own shoe. Do you feel like, well, you did say it's a cry for help.
It's a cry for attention, like you're the middle child. So, I mean, I'm an only child, but I've heard stories from other people who have been the middle child. You're not the first one thought of, and you're not the last one thought of.
Right.
Little brother gets most of the attention because he was the last one. Big brother gets the attention because he's the first one.
Right.
Plus, he's in the NBA. The little brother cherry picking, getting 92 points. What are you doing? Nobody's checking
What's
for you.
his thing? What's his?
Nobody's
now he's the criminal. He's the black sheep of the family. He's the criminal.
Now you're the thug.
He's the thug.
You got your Ron Artest on, boy. Like,
right.
You now looking like Steven Jackson before you even got an NBA. I like it. But it's like I said, it's a cry for attention. It's.
Do we feel like that's a overall theme of maybe this generation, or is it just? Do we think it's a cry for attention millennials might have to make a name for themselves? History. There's no history being broken right now. What impactful thing has been done in the last couple of years? I mean, technology is getting better. Right. But is it really anything revolutionary? Walking on the moon or the TV or is it any, so you feel like this generation is trying to be a part of?
Well, unless you're an iPhone user and you believe
it's the greatest,
and you believe it's the greatest thing ever since sliced bread every year. But
I mean, like I said, because technology is getting better.
Right.
But it's just an improvement of what already is. So nothing's really
nothing revolutionary.
So is that like, the drug use or the depression is an attention grabber for the generation, or? Because a social media thing makes everybody.
It's social media is not even just Instagram and Facebook. It's TMZ.
Right? Yeah.
It's about getting yourself out there. Mm-hmm. Nobody really knows who you are unless you do something stupid on camera.
Right.
People know. What was it? People talk more about Zoe scoring 2 points, whatever, and so forth. Mm-hmm. People talk more about LaMelo. That's the little brother, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, LaMelo getting pulled out of high school to be trained for 2 years like a Super Saiyan, for the NBA.
Right.
He's on his Dragon Ball Z now. So, but nobody knows anything about you. Just he's just a UCLA kid, and that's it.
Right.
He's going to be next, but nobody really paying any attention to you. Mm-hmm. So, I guess this is a way to get some buzz for yourself. Mm-hmm. And social media is a drug of choice. Mm-hmm. People want to do things just to get popular for 15 seconds, 15 minutes, maybe an hour,
right? And
then you fade into the abyss.
I mean, it worked. His father kind of found the cheat code for social media. I mean, Zoe was talked about. Mm-hmm. But would he have gone second? Would he have been, right now we know there's a spotlight on him.
Right.
The magnifying glass is on him, and it's because of his father's usage of social media.
Right.
So it can be used for good, it can be used for bad, Can you blame LeVar for not preaching so much about his middle son as he does for the other two? Or does the son not have anything for him to
I think that's just the middle child blues. I think he just falls in that trap of just being there. He's just there.
Right. They have the show. They have the reality show on Facebook.
Right.
So they are social media. I mean, they're
people know who he is.
They're kind of like the Black Kardashians.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But Kim was the middle child, so it's like.
But Melo ain't out here sleeping with everybody in the world either.
Then maybe that's the route he should have taken instead of stealing. He should have been.
What? You're right.
Slanging that thing.
Instead of stealing Louis Vuitton, he should have stole somebody's girl like Trey Songz, man. That's what he should have did, bro.
Girl. Maybe that would have been,
But he, like I said, it's all about your friends and the company you keep.
Right.
Those kids, would they have ever became pros in the NBA? Who knows?
Right, because we don't even really know their names.
I don't even to this day.
He has the celebrity status enough to be the story.
Attention.
Yeah.
He garners enough attention to be a story.
Right.
Because of his last name.
Right.
And there's association to his older and little brother.
Right.
So the older brother.
Right.
But he just wants his own attention, his own limelight. Mm-hmm. So, because you can't be that dumb enough to just walk in a store and people not know who you are, and so forth, and then go along with this ploy of, let's steal something. And nobody's going to know anything different. Bro, do you not know who the hell you are?
And they probably were looking at him like, I think that's so-and-so
That's
ball.
what I'm saying. He's some kind of ball. Left one.
Right.
Left, right, middle. I don't know.
Right. He's a ball. Because even, like I said, even if he doesn't have an accolade or something to speak to,
he still has a last name.
The family is known. They have the Facebook show. They're known enough. So
exactly. Like
we can see you. So
and it's not like celebrities haven't stole stuff. I mean, hell,
true.
OJ did it, but
that was his. Like,
it was his stuff. That was not his Louis Vuitton. But still,
what's her name? Oh man, I can't think of the name. From Beetlejuice. What's her name from Beetlejuice? Winona Ryder. She got caught stealing. Like, so a few of them.
Didn't Paris Hilton get caught stealing soon? She got a
probably her family's
like Cole Richie or something. One of them. There's a lot of kleptomaniacs out there.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing that kills me about LaAngelo is the fact that
Jello.
Yeah, Little Jello, whatever.
Little Jello. I can be his rap name.
Everybody got a little.
That could be his rap name. He wanted to be a rapper, Little Jello.
Everybody got.
I'm gonna need some. This is recorded, so I'm gonna need the copyright on that. Yeah.
But his thing that kills me is like, dude, your name right now is the family.
Right.
So
a big baller brand, the Ball family.
You
BBB was 3 ball.
you have you have the. I can't even see you have the stardom, but your name has a stardom.
Right.
And then for you to go out and do something like that and think people are not going to pay you any attention is absurd.
Right. UCLA even gave him a chance just because his brother was there. His father is having a relationship with them.
Understand that most people who get that kind of attention, especially on a foreign trip, you losing your spot on that team, you being expelled from the team. Yeah. Your name got you still on that team. You can still be suspended. For,
right now, what is it indefinite or?
Which indefinite suspensions in college basketball mean absolutely nothing.
Especially if everybody's one and done. Or,
like, I'm a Duke fan, and I remember when what was the homie who was tripping everybody?
Oh, Grayson. Grayson.
When Grayson Allen was tripping everybody in sight.
He was tripping.
He was tripping on that. He was tripping on stuff. But he was indefinitely suspended, and that was only like 5 games.
Right.
So
that's true.
Indefinite suspensions in college mean absolutely nothing.
That is true. That is true.
So he could be suspended and so forth, but his name is going to get him up on that team. The other two who got caught from, they may not have a spot.
Right. But we don't even know their name.
Exactly. We don't know. You don't know their name.
So his celebrity status,
it gets him everything.
It was still good enough to get, to get him known, to get caught, but it still kind of get him out of the trouble and stuff as well.
Right. His name, which thanks to his dad, which is probably one of the best promoters since Don King.
That is true. He definitely is a great promoter.
One of the greatest promoters since Don King.
Only in America.
Not
in China, because obviously.
I think he copyrighted that, right?
Ooh, Don King?
Yeah.
Alright, gonna delete that part. He ain't gonna be suing me. He's still he out here suing.
He just trying to find him. Son, he's trying to find some kind of work.
We good. Delete that.
We ain't got no profit, bro. You ain't getting nothing.
That. Yeah. Speaking of social media, overseas affairs, popularity.
Talking about daddy getting hype off of social media and doing the stuff.
What are we?
So is the president.
Right. So our, whether you like it or not, our commander in chief, he has the title, he has the job, he's the guy. Basically wants LeVar to personally thank him for, which is insane. He wants a direct thank you from LeVar and the family for getting the kids out, speak, because he happened to be in town when all this went down, which is, ironic. No one is a bigger media whore than number 45.
Yeah.
So
maybe LeVar might be the second biggest whore.
Is this a clash that we would like to see?
It's the clash of the titans, man. This is like Godzilla versus Mothra right now, or King Kong versus Godzilla.
Has LeVar responded to? Oh, he said who? I think somebody asked him about Trump tweet, and he was like, who? So what it's interesting.
I don't think he voted for him.
I don't think so either. But do we think Trump would have even done it if LeVar? I mean, if the Ball family wasn't notable.
All we know, my man still he may have money on the Lakers win the championship. Could hear what LeVar said.
Right.
Remember back in the WWE days, Vince McMahon had the Kiss My Ass Club?
Yes.
This is exactly what Trump wants.
Trump
has the Kiss My Ass Club. Yeah. And he was actually in the WWE thing for like a hot
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
That's WrestleMania Hall of Fame. That was boy.
Yeah. But I mean, he
bought his spot.
He bought ratings to the,
for like 5 seconds. But thank you for your 5 seconds of time, sir. But yeah, this is the epitome of. He has the Kiss My Ass Club. Mm-hmm. He wants any and everything to be about him. Mm-hmm. This is not about. It really wasn't about him saving some poor soul from China because we still got other people. Yeah. I remember seeing an article saying there's a black team who was in China, got caught with son thing stealing, and my man's still locked up. You ain't get him out.
Right.
But I guess he's anonymous. Also, it is what it is.
Right.
That goes back to the celebrity of the Ball family. If he was just LeAngelo Ball and nobody heard of anything the Ball family, he probably would still be locked up in China for stealing.
Right.
But 45, he needs the attention. It's like he didn't get enough love, and he just, he's like he's really on this LL. I need love from everybody.
Everybody.
It don't matter who.
Right.
He wants to. I mean, he wants to shut down anything Obama did. Reverse the time. Turn back the hands of time on that. And that's not enough. He has all these investigations on him and so forth, and everything that was about him, he wants to flip the light to somebody else.
Right.
What are you talking about? Me being investigated. What about Crooked Hillary?
Right.
And then now when it comes to other social media aspects, which he loves his Twitter, and you want to, all because you see one celebrity's child in the limelight, he takes it upon himself to save these UCLA
so
players.
I pulled up the tweets right now, so I'm gonna just read through.
Right.
The first one was now that the 3 basketball players are out of China and saved from years in jail, LeVar Ball, the father of LeAngelo, is unaccepting of what I did for his son, and that shoplifting is no big deal. I should have left them in jail. Then he later followed up that with, shoplifting is a very big deal in China, as it should be. 5 to 10 years in jail, but not to Father LeVar. Should have gotten his son out during my next trip to China instead. China told them why they were released. Very ungrateful. So, in his mind, or apparently China told them, it was Mr. Biggs, I did this to you. I freed you. You owe me.
Right.
And he feels, Trump feels like, he did them a favor.
He wanted to say, thank you, Master.
Yeah.
I appreciates what you did for the family. This dude has the biggest ego complex I've ever seen. And that says a lot, because I've seen a lot of people with a lot of big egos.
Yeah.
I think just he already had a big inflated ego anyway, but I think now that he is in that limelight, he sees this really as more reality TV. Like, he really thinks this is just a reality TV segment that's just going to last for 4 years.
Right.
It's nothing major.
Do we see a big difference between LeVar Ball and Donald Trump?
The only difference I see is one is a president. One is a president of a company, and the other one's president of the United States.
Right.
Like, it's one thing for LeVar to be, talking to the media or social media and on Twitter, wishing everything into existence and so forth. He can do that. He's a small business company man, who speaks highly of his sons.
Right.
He loves his sons to death. He wants the best for them, but he also takes a lot of pressure off the sons and puts them he puts pressure on the sons.
Yes.
But he also takes a lot of pressure off because everybody focuses on him a lot too. But that's the difference between running a company that is a small company versus running an entire country,
right?
Where you actually have people's lives that you make decisions for. So that's the only difference, between LeVar and Donald, is the fact that one runs a country, one runs a company.
Right.
They're both very talkative. They're both outspoken. They both get made fun of on SNL.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
Right.
But
they give material.
You are satirical.
Yeah.
You're a satire.
Yeah.
Both of them are satire, and one doesn't mind it because he runs with the punches. LeVar runs with the punches.
Right.
Donald gets offended when anybody tries to make fun of him.
He takes it personal.
He takes it very personal, but you do it to yourself.
Right.
you can't run around like a damn man baby, you know, and then want respect from anybody. Like you have to earn it. That's not just given to you because of your title. Your title means nothing to anybody, man.
Right.
There are other leaders of other countries. They don't bow down to you.
Right.
Like, and then you want a civilian to bow down to you because you got his son out. You know, LeVar's going to handle LeAngelo internally.
Right. That's my son.
Right. That's a family problem.
Yeah.
You know, him saying there's no big deal, I'm pretty sure he would have said that if he was still in jail. He's probably going to try to find some way to get his son back anyway.
Right.
You know, Donald took that upon himself to get him out, you know, bring him back to the States, you know, and then he wanted to thank you after that. I don't know, maybe he probably wanted some free Zo2s.
Nobody got him yet. So.
You know, I guess he wanted some Zo2s. But
do you think a thank you is warranted?
A thank you is warranted because at the end of the day, he did do a favor. He did take it upon himself to say, you know, out of all the Americans that are in that are in other countries' jails, he takes it upon himself to do this for them. Right.
Because we know how Trump feels about POW as a prisoner. Well, we already know how he thinks about, you know, if you got captured.
He rather you not get captured.
Right. So
he didn't bring your ass back.
He did do, I can't even call it a service, but I mean, again.
But you know, it's if LeAngelo was just LeAngelo Ball from Chino Hills,
right?
Regular old LeAngelo Ball from Chino Hills wouldn't matter.
So it was a game recognizing game. It was like, LeVar, I see you,
right?
I'm a trump you,
right?
I'm gonna free your kid.
I'm gonna play my trump card,
but I want you to say thank you because I'm gonna outdo you in the same social media game kind of thing. So
he wants, you know, and I think that's the celebrity of LeVar Ball.
Yeah.
You know, he wants another celebrity who has a big following on social media. He wants him to have a humbled moment.
Right.
You know, bow down to me, thank you, kiss the ring, bitch. You know,
right.
You know, and I want the world to see it.
Right.
And when LeVar's not going to be as gracious as he wants him to be, you know, now he's like,
now it's beef.
Oh, now
I should have left him in there.
Oh, now it's on, fam.
Right.
3 o'clock on the playground.
Well, since I got Twitter up and, you know, POTUS is never done tweeting, another tweet that he sent this weekend.
George Bush did tweeting like that.
But I mean, they didn't have it at that point. I think
Obama didn't tweet like that.
He was the first one. They made a Twitter account for him, but Trump already had it because he's a celebrity already.
Obama didn't even tweet like that.
But so here's a good one. Marshawn Lynch of the NFL's Oakland Raiders stands for the Mexican anthem.
I love it.
And sits down to boos for our national anthem. Great disrespect. Next time, NFL should suspend him for remainder of season. Attendance and ratings way down. So, so Marshawn Lynch,
who is a very outspoken person,
for years has been just sitting for the anthem. It's to him, it was never really a protest, or it was just how he felt. I'm sitting, leave me alone. I don't know why the game was in New Mexico.
It was in Mexico,
and he stood for the Mexican national anthem.
He respect the Mexican people, because they're not all rapists.
Right. Do we feel that was politically charged, or just Marshawn being Marshawn?
Marshawn knows what he's doing.
Right.
Marshawn always knows what
I want to know what he's doing. What do we think he's doing? Like, what's the point of...
See, that thing about it, that's for us to interpret, for him to know.
Right. Because that's interesting. Like, he sits, he sits and reclines. He don't take a knee. He just... Eat
his Skittles.
He just, chill, beast mode, pop them. But for the Mexican anthem came on, he didn't salute or, he just stood up.
Right.
So
that was a sign of respect. That was baiting.
Baiting.
He was definitely baiting. Like I said, I think he knows what he's doing. Marshall knows what he's doing. Like he's not oblivious to that. He knew exactly that was going to piss Trump off.
So we think that was a shot at Trump.
I definitely was a shot at Trump because Trump he's made.
I'm with it. I'm rolling.
Because Trump has made great personal strides to shit all over Colin Kaepernick.
True.
True.
And Marshawn has said that he stands with
He
Kaepernick.
stands a cap.
So yeah,
So this is definitely a big, fu back to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the fact that man doesn't stand for the anthem,
Right.
any anthem,
right.
and he does it for the Mexican national anthem that's brilliant. That's a brilliant theater. That is brilliant theater.
I'm with it. I mean, again, we're speculating. Don't know. Marshawn doesn't do
I
interviews.
don't know him man personally, man.
Right. He don't do interviews. He doesn't say it, but it's interesting. It's newsworthy. It's funny because, again, taking a knee, not taking a knee has been the storyline all season, since last season. And just him doing that is hilarious. But it's Marshawn, so people don't know. They're not going to get a word out of him. No. So it's just...
He's not going to do
Marshawn, can we get a... Never mind. Like,
exactly. You already know better than that, player.
Yeah.
Like, he going to do it. And I think, Marshawn actually has his own show on Bleacher Report. And it's actually a pretty funny show.
Okay.
And this is probably the most you'll ever hear him speak. So it's actually a good show to watch. Too.
Okay. I wonder if he's gonna talk about that.
I wonder if in the next episode or so he's gonna talk about that. I bet you his ratings are gonna go up for that on Bleacher Report.
Right.
Bleacher probably have a lot more downloads.
I was gonna say people are probably tuning in just to see
what he's gonna say about that.
Yeah. So that'll be I might check it out.
He has it's an entertaining show, but he's the most entertaining, quiet person you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And I think that's the mystique of Marshawn.
Mm-hmm.
Is the fact that he doesn't have to say anything to get attention.
Yeah.
He just does what he does, and whether you like it or not, it's just gonna be him.
And it seems like it's usually just personal.
Right.
He's not, and I don't mean personal as F you directly, just feel like it's what he felt like doing.
This is how he feels.
He's not protesting for any reason. He's not like, I'm here for the kids, I'm here for the da-da-da-da. He's just like, I didn't feel like standing.
Right.
So it's hard to knock. It's like,
And he's probably going to say, I was just, standing in honor. I'm here in Mexico.
Right.
So I'm going to salute, I'm going to show appreciation for the Mexicans out there and stand for the anthem.
Right.
But I really think that was a shot at Trump because of how he has turned Colin Kaepernick's protest into something completely different.
If that's what it is, I'm with it. I'm rocking. I'm rolling with it. It's just
it's not enough for me to watch football again.
Yeah.
I know you don't watch it because you just don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I've been doing other things
I'm holding out because I really do feel slighted about how the NFL treated Colin Kaepernick. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad to see, we do have, the Marshawns out there, that are just doing what they're doing. They're not caring about anything. He don't care about his endorsements. He's just going to be himself.
He got him for being him. Right. He got his endorsements for being himself. Yeah.
So. He's a funny dude, man. But I strongly think that was just a shot at Trump. And the fact that Trump took note to it,
mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. And message received. And he can leave that message on read after that too. So, because Marshall doesn't have to respond back to him. He really is going to leave that on red, and that's going to piss off Trump more.
That's what he does. But he does it in interviews.
The fact that Trump says, takes upon himself saying ratings way down, but it ain't because of me watching.
Right.
Like the Nielsen box is not in my TV.
Right.
So, ratings could be down, but it ain't because of me.
Right.
I think that's just Trump's way of just saying he's just mad. He's still salty that. I really think he really is that salty still about the U.S. FL.
Oh,
from his family.
You would think he would want
he's
to.
He's so salty about that stuff.
You would think he would want the NFL to fail so he could
bring it back,
something or buy it or something.
But at the same time, when you say your ratings are down, that makes people watch you also too. Like
so, yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
He's a double-edged sword. Like he thinks his thing. He thinks him saying that is going to get ratings down.
Right.
But at the same time, we also have friends like Bob Kraft and Jerry Jones in there, or Bob and Nair, who are your friends. So it's not like you want to see them fail either.
Right.
But at the same time, you saying that ratings are down, and honestly, I really haven't seen that much reports that ratings are way down.
I feel like the ratings have been dropping anyway. Once you got Red Zone, fantasy football.
Right.
People are teaming up to go watch the game. They go to
got
Buffalo Wild Wings.
right.
So it's a hard, it sounds good or whatever, or sounds bad, but it's nothing you can really gauge unless like you said, a Nielsen box is every TV or whatever. But fantasy football is up.
Exactly.
So everybody's playing, so they're watching some way. Maybe more people are watching on their phone or they're streaming, or so I don't know how the ratings are gauged.
It's football on your phone.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there's Red Zone where I can just watch that one channel. Does that have the same ratings as the NBC's? And so maybe they're complaining.
Right.
CBS, NBC, maybe they're the ones whose ratings are dropping because everybody's watching Red Zone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's been an ongoing thing, and it will be as long as Red Zone exists. Because even
that, the internet,
right.
There's so many different ways you can watch football.
Yeah,
it's
people
not
have to
limited.
work, and because of our economy, people are working on Sundays and stuff, so they have to just catch it when they can.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's just because people are protesting or da da da. At this point, a lot of people done gave up.
Right, people are watching. It's not
week 10, week 11. Some protests. No, once people start seeing nothing's coming of it, people already turned, and that's.
Yeah, people are gonna come back. It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Like, hell, I mean, I'm guilty. I'll say it. I'm guilty. I don't watch football. Hell, I'm in 2 fantasy football leagues. I was trying to make some money. I'm gonna lose both of them. So that I really just gave everybody my money. But but I made that decision honestly as a way to make money. It wasn't even so much about watching football.
Right.
It was so more about trying to get money for me. Mm-hmm. But that, of course, by me trying to get money for myself, I'm also putting money in NFL's pockets, and I didn't really get that
the
initially.
ads and the ad revenue, the game itself, they had to use the likeness
Fantasy
in the
football,
shield.
I didn't get that actually adds to their stream. So could I watch football? Probably, but I really don't even care. Like,
right.
I didn't even know my Ravens beat the Packers. Shout out to Ant. I didn't know that until I saw the thing on my phone telling me that, because I still have them on my Bleacher Report stream stuff. But it's the rating system is a weird system anyway. That's kind of like winning an Emmy or winning a Golden Globe or something like that,
because they're still bringing in revenue.
Right, it's
they're making money.
Who votes on this stuff and who reads this stuff is
right. Because like I said last week, the NFL is still the highest grossing, league of all of the 4 major sports. So if TV is one area where they're lacking in, they're making it up somewhere.
Internet.
Right. Again, they have their own channel. So they have the NFL Network. Do they own Red Zone, or is that?
No,
Who owns Red Zone?
Dish Network, and someone owns Dish Network.
Okay, so they're getting something from that, because they're allowing that to be shown. They're allowing, because they have
Dish
contracts.
Network or Verizon.
Yeah, we can look that up and find out.
Somebody owns it.
Either way, how we all know with all sports, they say the replication, recording of this cannot be. So they're allowing Red Zone to show every game. So there's money being made there.
Because even when I have DirecTV, and with DirecTV, you have the Sunday Ticket,
right?
And you can watch any game from any network except things in your local network or whatever your local network showing. So even if the Cowboys,
right? If
it's Cowboys, Redskins on, I say Washington. I hate saying Redskins. It's a derogatory term. But if Cowboys and Washington are playing on Fox, on Fox 5 here, I can't watch that on Sunday Ticket.
The blackout for
the blackout for local stuff. So I mean, does that hurt?
Right. Again, local stuff is affected. Fox, CBS, those are affected
by region.
Yeah, by region, right. But the league itself is fine.
Yeah,
they're fine.
Ticket sales, jersey sales.
Yeah, so they're good. So they're not struggling. So that whole
it's fake
ratings
news,
are down. Exactly. And same thing I was saying last week about the Jay-Z concert. You got to look at who is saying what's being said and kind of figure out why. We'll never really know, but it's like one thing, but then you notice something. It's like, why would I care about that? Okay, less people are watching certain channels, However, they're still bringing in money.
Right.
So, the NFL care? Are they really complaining? Some of them are not really. The owners haven't really.
I haven't. The only thing the owner have complained about was how dare you call out players
Right.
sons
to
of
Trump.
bitches.
So right. So they've had
That's
their
the only thing they said, man. How dare you call it?
quick hit that just popped into my head. Jerry Jones and Roger Goodell are.
They beefing?
Yeah. So they're going into some things. Goodell, it seems like Jerry Jones is more upset that Ezekiel Elliott got suspended. Because he was fine with him until that happened.
But Zeke dropped his appeal.
Yeah. So I don't know. Their whole, their beef is something else. But right now it seems like Jerry Jones is the only one. He's on an island by himself.
So he's the only one for Zeke Elliott.
You know what I'm saying? So it just feels like he just have his own beef where Kraft didn't even go that far
For the
with right. So Jerry Jones is like, we want Goodell out of here. He's not doing a good enough job.
I could have sworn I saw a report saying Goodell is close to an extension. Though.
And that's what he's trying to. Jerry Jones is trying to prevent that, but he's the only one. So the 32 owners, 31, and the people own the Green Bay Packers. But out of the owners, he's like, right, who's with me, guys, fellas?
Bob, come on, Bob, come on.
Yeah, he's on that island by himself. Yeah, that just popped in my head. It's
Jerry
just,
got a lot of things going on in his life, though, man. He has the Zeke thing. Mm-hmm. He has the collusion case. Mm-hmm.
Right. Did they have a comment? Did they do that yet?
I don't even know.
That kind of went away too.
We ain't hear nothing about that.
So Cap's lawyer said in 10 days he'll be on the team.
It's been like what 4?
Yeah.
Yo, insert that SpongeBob thing 14 days later.
And then they said, "Oh, we're gonna depose the owners. We're gonna confiscate their phones,
Law and Order,
email records,
Chappelle Show, Law and Order,
and
we're gonna confiscate the phones."
And what happened?
Not a thing.
We're still here, it's still going on. That's
Here we are, close to Thanksgiving. Cap's still on the team.
Yeah.
And honestly, even if he gets on the team, I'm still not gonna even care to watch football because, like, hey, he's back. I'm into it. Mm-hmm. You waited what 3 months to the season now?
Yeah.
This is all
half the season, though. What? No, more than half, because week 10, week 11, some teams play 10 games. December. Yeah, this is playoff race now.
And
this is the race now.
And I remember January is playoffs, so basically season's almost over.
Yep.
It already don't even matter anymore at this point.
Yeah. So it's a wrap.
But just going back to the original topic, Trump and LeVar, or Trump versus LeVar. That's probably gonna be WrestleMania next year. But
I could see Vince making that happen. I could definitely see Vince is calling right now, trying to get because you got the two social media,
and they both were doing WWE
promotion. I forgot when LeVar. Yeah, Vince is making that happen. Vince is making that happen. I can see that happen.
I can see it. It's inspiring just a little promotion for WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and it's funny, Trump versus LeVar, it's just a social media thing. It's just two giants wanted to, step on one each other, trying to see who's the bigger man or who's the better man. But that's just LeVar being LeVar. He's not gonna bow down. He's the same man that said he could beat Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So he ain't bowing down to anybody.
True.
I'm sure he's appreciative that he got his son out, but he's not gonna outright just say, thank you, and especially now because he called him out.
Right.
He's not gonna bow down to that.
Right. Speaking of social media, and media in general, award season is coming up, and
winter is coming.
But Get Out, directed by Jordan Peele, has been placed in the was it comedy, drama, very vague category for the Golden Globes. Now we both seen the movie. So has countless other people. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out.
Must watch
Movie. How do we feel about it being placed in the comedy category?
Well, I hope you and everybody else feel the same way about. That's not a comedy. That's a documentary.
And that's what Jordan Peele tweeted. Originally, he stated that
It was satirical material, but I just think he said it's satire back in February when the movie was first coming out because people they want to know how to accept the movie.
Right.
They weren't ready to see that.
Right.
It's almost like some people who think slavery wasn't all that bad.
Well, they gave them food and a house to sleep in.
It's like it can't be all. It can't be all that.
Yeah.
Like, no, it really was all that.
They weren't slaves; they were unpaid workers,
Undocumented workers.
Yeah.
But it's like that. It's like that movie can't. It can't be as bad as you make it out to be.
Right.
Which is what I think Jordan was trying to go with, was saying it's satire because he didn't know how people would take the movie.
Right.
But little did he know, especially for us, not just me and you, but I think for a lot of black people, we understood that movie is real life though.
Yeah.
Anybody that hasn't seen the movie, it's about a young black man who was dating a white woman. The black man is a photographer. He goes with his girlfriend to the family's house somewhere in, looks like northeast somewhere. The housemaids that are at the family estate are a black woman who's a housekeeper, a male who's a gardener, but they aren't themselves. They are the girl's dead grandparents who are just implants from other people that the girl dated, and the dad, who is a neurologist or
I don't know the exact term. Yeah, he's a brain doctor.
Is a neuroscientist, but somehow he has spliced or taken the mind from the parents and put them into the black bodies, so they can live forever.
Right.
I don't know where any part of that screams comedy. The only comedic parts is Little Rel. And Little Rel, was I forgot Daniel's character in the movie, but that was his best friend, and he had 5 or something scenes in the movie.
Something like that. Yeah.
And they were all funny parts. He made me want to be TSA for a hot minute.
He was the comic relief of the movie, but the movie wasn't really a comedy.
No comedy.
Yeah.
There wasn't comedy to it. It was real life, man.
Do you think the Academy, or not even the Academy, just the Golden Globes, do you think the Golden Globes categorized as a comedy because they found it laughable? Or
I think they're trying to water it down because I think that's the first award.
That kicks off the season
for the season.
Awards, yeah.
I think if you nip it in the bud now, you cut the head of the snake, you hope it ain't gonna grow. So you keep it as a comedy now. You hope it doesn't grow to anything bigger. You don't want to keep it as a horror. You want to keep it as a documentary or whatever. At best, I would say it's gonna be called a thriller or a horror movie.
Right.
But because nobody's gonna really classify it except us as a documentary.
Yeah.
But I think when you say it's a comedy, you're trying to water it down, and that's kind of what Jordan did initially. Was kind of draw more of an audience to it. But now when you go into the award season and you're saying it's a comedy, now you're just making a joke out of it, and that movie is not a joke.
Right.
It had some real serious moments. It had, a lot of. It's not a comedy where you see like, the girl gets hurt or the guy gets hurt, and then there's like some comic relief to it. Nah, it's real stuff throughout.
Yeah.
Even the comedy parts, it still goes well with how the movie is going. Because Rel talks like how we talk.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like, bro, you gotta get out of this.
Right. Like most scary movies, he was the guy that's not in most scary movies. He's the guy that we usually yell at the screen.
Right.
And saying, don't go in there, da, da, da. He was in the movie as that person.
He was us in the movie.
Yeah,
It's I remember was talking about Michael Myers or Jason or Freddy movies. There might have been things we can laugh at.
Right.
But that doesn't make that a comedy.
Right.
So you trying to water it down, I think that's really to appease a certain side of people. I don't want to say the actual word like that, but it's to appease a certain particular group of people.
Right.
And it's to really take away the greatness of that movie.
Right.
Jordan Peele basically showed himself he's not a one-trick pony.
Right.
He may have a comedy mind, but he can definitely do other kind of fields of work. I just found it. Hell, I think he might have said a documentary because he may be talking about himself.
Well,
he is married to.
I mean, the last time. Have you ever seen They Live?
They Live. I remember
it was
right?
Roddy Piper.
Yeah, I remember that.
John Carpenter directed it, whatever. He said it's a documentary, and before Roddy Piper passed away, rest in peace, Roddy Piper. He said They Live is a documentary. So for those that don't know, They Live was the movie where Roddy Piper found some glasses,
and he could see,
and he put the glasses on, and he read the billboards. And instead of it being an advertisement for whatever it was advertising, it said obey, consume, conform. And he's looked at the people, and certain people were not of this world.
Right.
Deeper stuff into the movie. I won't go all the way into it, but definitely a movie worth watching. Came out late 80s.
Late 80s, yeah.
Before Roddy Piper passed, I think he actually tweeted that They Live is a documentary. People take it as they may. That's not real. However, whatever. It's one of them things where maybe it's metaphorical, maybe it is real. We don't know. Sometimes you like you said, Peele when he first presented the movie, he had to say it was satire.
Right.
Maybe John Carpenter had to do the same thing and be like, yeah, it's just a fun movie, da da da. But then once it was out there and the conversation was going, he was able to then say, yeah, this is really going on. Like this is because at that point people call you crazy.
Right. Because sometimes you have to step in. I guess some people feel you have to step in your message a little bit,
right? So
everybody can see it,
right?
And then after you have a big spectrum of people watching it, then you can finally start saying, okay, now that you've seen it, I'm going to hit you with the real stuff.
Right, and then so like that's why when we said that the documentary thing, that reminds me of They Live, because something similar. I don't remember how it was nominated in the awards, but like I said, it was a recent. Roddy Piper passed a couple years ago, 5 years ago, something like that, and one of his final messages was that They Live was a documentary. And, it's just interesting that these type of things, classifications and stuff of movies, sometimes they have to lie to get the movie to present it out. And again, I don't know how truthful it is or what it's, related to or who the people are in the movie, but certain aspects, specifically of Get Out, there are news articles of the kidnappings and body harvesting and transplanting and things like that. So a lot of this stuff is based on at least events that have taken place.
Yep.
He might have compiled a bunch of stories to make something happen, but I still don't see the humor. Like I said, Lil Rel's comedic lines lightened a mood of a darker story.
But it still had a lot of dark moments.
Right. And they even lightened the ending. The original ending, spoiler alert, the original ending, you know, I can't remember his name, but the star of the movie ends up getting arrested. You know, he got caught when he was trying to get, you know, and they changed it, and Lil Rel's character actually saves him. So it had a happy ending.
Because TAC gets shit done.
But originally, it was not a happy ending.
Nope.
So the movie, he lightened it up still, you know, to make it appealing from what his original thought process was. So it's just, you know, it's interesting, you know, now the Golden Globes, and, you know, I mean, do we care about the Golden Globes and how they see the movie or depict the movie or classify the movie? Do we care about that? And I say we as, you know, should we care in general?
I think we should care because it sets the trend for the rest of the season of awards. And I think how people perceive it afterwards is important for how it's classified now.
Right.
So if you classify now as a comedy, and then it just is a comedy or proceed as a comedy for all the other awards after that,
Right.
then the message of the movie or the outlook of the movie changes totally.
Right.
Like
it may have a better chance of winning if people say, "Oh, we can laugh at that," you know, it may.
Same time,
Right.
At the same time, do you really wanting to sell out?
Right.
You know, your movie just to win an award. It doesn't mean it's going to get buys in the movie store or, you know, at Best Buy somewhere. That's not going to get you strings because it's called a comedy.
Right.
You know, like it'll be the biggest mask. You know, because you say, yeah, it's a comedy. Then you watch it. It ain't comedy.
Right.
You know, like it's going to be something different. I mean, unless you're one of those people who are body harvesting and are part of that little cult society that are doing that, then you kind of like, nah, man, stop snitching.
Right. Right.
You know, I just don't like the idea that it's being called a comedy because it's really going to set the tone and it's going to really water down what that movie really is. You know, Birdman said, "Put some respect on my name." So you got to put some respect on that movie. You know,
Right.
It's not a comedy. It has aspects, it has elements, but it's not that.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this is another conversation that will continue because win or lose, it'll be interesting, like you said, to see how the next awards, because what do you have? Golden Globes, SAG Awards, the Oscars,
Academy.
So it'll be interesting to see, like you know, where everyone else categorizes it afterwards, and like I said, if it wins, what impact does that have?
Right.
Which would probably be more so than if it loses. That's how I feel. I think if they lose, you know, it could be like, well, it doesn't belong in that category anyway. But if it wins, then it's, you know, oh, so it's the best comedy of the year, or
Right.
you know, so it'll be interesting
You know,
to see where it goes from there.
People may think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
If you watch that movie, you can see it's a big deal though.
Yeah, it's not. It's laughing moments, but it's definitely not a laughable, you know, movie in general. You know, it's,
I mean, we got people in the sunken place now.
Kanye.
Kanye is in the sunken place. Ben Carson is in the sunken place.
Oh man, what's your boy?
Steve Harvey,
Jason
is
Whitlock.
He was the sunken place. He sunk himself into the place.
Yeah, Steve Harvey. Yeah, and he's a few. So all right, recap time. Drugs and hip hop.
Hated it.
Hip hop in general. I mean, we already had the hip hop conversation last week, but we focused specifically this week on
the drug use.
the drug use. You know,
it's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Man. People, these cats want to be like their peers. If you pill popping, I'm pill popping.
Right.
Let's pill pop together.
And we feel like some of them are not really doing it.
Nah, they living a lie, man.
We could probably say that too for a lot. I mean,
even rappers back in our days.
Right, I was gonna say that when Dre made the Chronic, he wasn't really smoking as much weed as like Snoop and him was. So probably if at all,
Snoop could beat the Chronic.
yeah, right. But Dre wasn't really smoking like that. A lot of the rappers wasn't doing it. So,
see, but you gotta think about like Dre. I mean, what was Dre gonna really call it? Woman beater?
right.
Michelin. He can't call it that. You gotta call it a sign that he was gonna get attended to.
The Ball family and the Trump family.
WrestleMania is gonna be crazy.
Which yeah, right, for real. Who is more the male Kardashians?
The race to see who has the better stat
I
line.
can definitely see that at WrestleMania though. I can definitely see Trump and LeVar, two old dudes that are big hams for the camera.
It'll probably be better than Taker versus Brock Lesnar or Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. So.
Yeah.
It's should LeVar say thank you?
Not apologize. Say thank you.
Should he say thank you? Yeah, but is he going to say it now? Nah. and that's all due to Trump. You know, not getting his gratification.
Right.
You know, he didn't join the Kiss My Ass Club, and so he's pissed.
Right. And Get Out, not a comedy.
Hell to the no. Hell to the no.
But we're gonna watch and see, you know, where that goes. If it wins, if it loses, we'll see how that affects the outcome and the future of the other awards that it'll be up for.
Right.
But like I said, that'll be an ongoing discussion, as is everything with the show. I mean, from episode 1, we've been talking about dirty old men, and since then,
it's gonna be a recap of that.
There's been a lot of names that have came out since then,
and name dropping like the game does.
Some of them, you know, using their power on women, some on children. Some on men, you know. Terry Crews has a claim out, you know. So a lot going on with that. That's not going to end. So you know,
but what does it say? I mean, we're going to talk about it another time, but I guess a thought for later is going to be, what does that say about the industry that it's becoming more prevalent?
Well, that was the question I posed when we were having that conversation. The industry, one thing, but just it's not even just Hollywood. It's music. It's a lot. What does it say about?
Charlie Rose is 60 Minutes, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what does that say about us as a people? Just old. You know, people in general. I mean, power. You know, we get power. We get a status, and we use it. We abuse it. You know, some people use it for. I mean, for whatever. It might not just be for sexual. You know, it could just be for coming up for money.
Right.
So it's a lot. It's a lot deeper, conversation.
Hey, can I say one thing, man?
Sure, go ahead.
If the day comes that Vanna White accuses Pat Sajak of any kind of fornication or any kind of allegations, I lost all faith in humanity, bro.
Oh, that's what it be. That's gonna be.
That's
for sure.
That's like America's game, man. You can't.
I mean, I feel you, but you don't think
30 years.
You don't think Pat try to turn them lettuce?
Vanna.
I don't know.
Don't do it, girl.
I mean, listen. They spent a lot of time together. They might have been on the low together, like I don't know. Maybe he didn't have to force himself. She was giving it up.
It's kind of like Bill Cosby, though. You might have just been together, and then you just want to say, I did.
I mean, so...
Share your thoughts.
Yeah. Comment below on the YouTube page or across all the networks. I'm on iTunes. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, video on YouTube. Comment. Also, like and subscribe. Share with your friends. And also, you can tweet us, Facebook comment, Instagram, a 2021 vision all across the board. And if you want to send in a video comment, you can email it to 2021vision@outlook.com. You have any more?
So serious. Look for the future Batman, Superman, Justice League review Cause it's gonna be something.
I mean, it might be. But on that note, this is Words, Music, Dance. It's Jared.
I am the immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah, he's that guy. I'm still Paul. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show, hit the like button. Share it. Tell your friends about it. Let them know what's going on. Also, hit subscribe and the bell to be notified when new content is loaded, because there's much, much more to come.